Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the 40K Autoguns mod, which is being released by user jsnyder193. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is Warhammer 40K Autoguns, and I have been having so much fun with this so far for two main reasons. The first being, it actually does kind of look like a weapon that would fit here in the Commonwealth and in Fallout 4 in general. It's a little bit strange looking, but seems to fit to me. And the second is, well, I am a 40K fan, especially a fan of the Imperial Guard, planetary militias, all that sort of stuff, and the autogun is a weapon, along with the lasgun, that they do use, so good times there. So let's jump on over this way and have a look at what we do get with the M40 Autogun, which in its most standard configuration will deal 53 damage with a new M40 round, with a firing rate of 127, range of 479, accuracy of 71, and a weight of 11.1. Not too bad there. And as you can see, this thing is pretty nicely made with some good modeling and texturing, and again, coming back to the idea, at least in my head, that this looks like something in the Fallout world, it kind of gives me vibes from the original Fallout 1 and 2 hunting rifle, just with its more boxy nature, and I like that. And with the different logos on this thing for the Imperium, well, you could quite easily chalk that up to the Brotherhood of Steel, which I think would be well enough. And especially with, of course, the writing that is on the gun, I think the Brotherhood of Steel would certainly use a weapon like this. But all in all, it's just a very cool, fun gun with a decent list of modifications that are really going to help this thing be more useful into the late game. And in fact, it can become a tremendously powerful weapon, which is very, very cool. Now, already when you start getting this thing, which we'll talk about in a moment, it's gonna kind of be an early mid-game gun. But yeah, with these modifications, especially some kind of wacky ones, which I love, it really is gonna be great into the late game. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these things, it's pretty darn simple. There is no level loot list integration. The one and only way to get it is to run over to any chemistry station in the world. And in there, you'll have the 40K Autoguns category, where you can make both the gun as well as its M40 caseless ammo. Now, the gun will take some aluminum, bottle caps, ceramic circuitry, plastic, and springs, as well as rank 3 in gun nut and rank 3 in science. Thus, the reason I kind of say earlier it's going to be kind of a early mid sort of weapon, just because of these rank requirements here with the perks. Now, an interesting thing on both the gun as well as a lot of the modifications, for some reason, they require bottle caps. I don't know why, but they do. Kind of a weird thing in my opinion, but it works, and you get so many bottle caps in this world that it's really not a big deal. Now, as for the ammo, you're going to require rank 2 in Demolition Expert and rank 2 in Chemist, as well as some 45 rounds, ceramic, fertilizer, oil, and plastic for you to make these things. Now, these you actually can find in a handful of places in the world. The mod maker did hand place some stacks of this ammunition in containers around the Commonwealth, so you may randomly come upon them in your journeys, but for the most part, this is where you're going to be making them, converting all of your 45 ammo into this. Good times. Though, one quick thing, there's like 3 issues I have with this mod, but they're issues that are easily fixable, and hopefully the mod maker will get to fixing. And one of them is, this is an M40 caseless, and in the lore of Warhammer 40K, these are caseless ammo, but game. We have cases. I think that's probably just a function of Fallout 4, so that might be something the mod maker can't fix. I don't know. A bullet-based gun may have to eject casings. I don't know. But it's a little bit weird that for a caseless ammo weapon, we have casings. Hopefully that can be fixed. Again, not 100% sure on that, though. We'll hopefully see in the future. Now, as for modifications, and then when we get to firing, I'll talk about my other two minor little issues. So, in the modifications, we've got the receiver category, where we've got a lot of things. Now, we've got some fairly standard things, like standard or superior, but then some very 40k things, like Red Cardinal, Commissar Sword, Inquisitor. Now, the Commissar Sword is the best of the receivers, upping this base damage to 132, as well as upping the fire rate to 300, which is crazy. That alone, between those two things and the drum magazine you can buy later, will make this a tremendously impressive endgame gun, just because that fire rate and damage. And overall, just a lot of good options in here for your different points in the game. Now, in the barrel category is where we get some more things that are a mix of both standard and 40k. We've got things like a standard barrel, a heavy enhanced, a heavy superior, pretty typical things you might see a lot of barrels being called. But then we can do things like a flame barrel to, you know, light things on fire, a plasma barrel to turn the rounds into plasma, or a shock barrel to, well, add shock damage to these things, and they are amazing. They'll change up the damage types as well as add in a lot of additional damage, again making this thing very powerful late game. So very cool options in here. Now, we then have the stock category, where we do have a lot of options like complex base, complex enhanced, a superior simple, sharpshooters. You can even turn this thing into a pistol with a standard hand grip. You got a lot of fun options for both changing up the accuracy as well as the aesthetics of the gun. So a lot of good options there. Now then we have the magazine category, where we've got the standard magazine, a medium magazine, a large magazine, then a drum for a lot of ammo, and an enhanced drum for even more ammo. Which this, combined with the Commissar's receiver and like the shock one, will make this the most powerful weapon, I think, probably in the game, with between its damage and fire rate. It's wonderful. Now then we have the sights category, where we've got either the iron sights or a night vision, recon, or standard scope that you'll either find in 4x or 10x. I do kind of wish we would have like a recon sight, or not a recon, a hollow sight or something along those lines in here, but nope, just all 4 and 10x scopes. But, you know, still quite nice there. And finally, there's nothing in the muzzle. Would be cool to have a bayonet here, but, you know, I can live with that with just the overall insane damage this thing can do. So let's go over to the firing range and take a look at this gun. Now, let's take some shots. And there we are. And you may notice my second issue, the animation. It's kind of weird. Like, this is something that definitely can easily be fixed. I don't know about the casing thing. Again, that might be something in Fallout itself. But with the animation, if it just got moved back a little bit, it would be perfectly fine. And, you know, not be strange to see my character magically somehow through telepathy aiming and loading and cocking the gun. Now, on my third issue, you guys may have seen earlier when I was doing the stats for the gun, and that is in third person. The hand on the pistol grip is a little bit far back as well. So just with a couple of animation enhancements, that will really change this thing up for the better. And even with them, I mean, it's not exactly game-breaking for me. It's a little awkward, but overall, still makes for a fun weapon nonetheless. Now, as for the usability of the gun, recoil on this is pretty crazy. It does get dropped quite a bit with some of those cool receivers in there, but with the standard ones, you are going to be getting this thing kicked around a lot, and the more ammo you fire, well, the worse that is going to get. But let's go grab our modified versions and take a look at those, and then see this thing in use. So let's head back on over here, and like I was saying with the modified ones, such as the Commissar autogun here, this really drops down that kick, and of course, it's going to have some shock damage on this thing. And with the Commissar sword receiver, you get weird little skulls on the hand grip. I kind of prefer just the standard, but It's 40K. What do you expect? So let's grab that gun real quick. And fire. There we go. Very simple and easy to control with this receiver. Not a huge amount of kick, and it just chews through that ammo, adding that wonderful electric shock to your enemies. Now, another fun thing is rather than sort of the Imperial logo on the back of the gun there, you now have this quote, "Only the dead have seen the end of war," whereas on the standard one there, you can see we've just got the eagle there. And then finally, we've got this other maximum capacity one, which I did with the drum magazine and the plasma, and oh boy, it's beautiful. This one, a lot more kick though. Oh boy, I'm all over the place. But 100 rounds downrange, and oh boy, that's, yeah, a lot more kick, but magnificent. Now let's take a look at this thing in practice, and let's, you know what? Let's get 2 death claws to start, because these guns are powerful. There's one death claw dead. I think both are dead. I didn't even empty the drum magazine, and both of them have died. Magnificent. 2 more! Die, Deathclaw! Oh my god, he has become goo! There we are. Lovely. I used all of the rounds that time, but most of them were misses because just the kick on this insane thing. Now let's go to the this heavy recon one that I made, which is the highest amount of damage without any perks. I was able to get this to 245, so if you have perks for increasing damage for like automatic weapons, oh boy, it's gonna be even better. But let's bring in 2 more Deathclaws, go up here, and bye-bye. He's dead. Oh, had to reload there. Had to reload. It is a smaller magazine. And he's dead too. Magnificent. It's just such a fun weapon. And oh, I didn't even notice shooting the water before. It's like little tiny explosions. Love it. So if you'd like to take a look at this weapon for yourself, which I would certainly recommend you go and do, you can take a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you have enjoyed and you come back for whatever is next. But until that time, thank you for watching. And as always, have a good one.